Welcome, everyone. Beautiful Friday. Indeed, it is. What are you sacrificing? You see, today is Good Friday. And normally we think of Good Friday as, the day that Jesus hung on the cross. But if we look to the eyes of the law, we begin to see a much different story. What are you sacrificing? You see, Neville told this story. The people shouted, "Give us Barabbas!" Yeah, they wanted to free Barabbas and sacrifice Jesus. But do you actually know what that means? It means you take stock of what you are willing to let go of, what you're willing to keep. So that when you choose your Barabbas is what? The old habit. Barabbas is the old habit that you have had for quite some time. And you simply look at that and say, you compare it to Jesus. Which one is older? Which of the two habits is older? Which one are you wanting to keep? Because the one you choose to keep determines which habit you will sacrifice. The habit you want to sacrifice is the one that no longer serves. It has no purpose for you. So which one will you sacrifice? Are you going to stay as you are? Or will you grow and change? But one of them must go. Which one is going to go? The one that's always in your face. The one that's got you saying, ugh, again? Why'd I do that again? How come I can't change? That's the habit to sacrifice. You notice how they felt no remorse. They felt no remorse. When they said, "Give us Barabbas," they felt no remorse. None. So why would you feel remorse about releasing the habit that is slowly choking your existence from you, making you do things that you are unhappy with? You can't keep it any longer. You can't keep it any longer. So sacrifice it upon the altar of change, hanging on the cross of change. You see, we wanna keep it because it, the body likes to be comfortable. It likes to feel that it is secure and safe. Mind you, that is its natural state. But you don't want your body to govern you. It uses its memories to do so. That's what it does. So someone has to be in charge of the body. That would be you. That would be me. So that we can sit and say, what's no longer serving me? What is no longer serving me? Let me let it go. But we want to hold on because, it has sentimental value. I've always done it this way. I've always done it this way. My granny did it this way too. But today is the day to make that decision. Choose. This is what we get to do. We no longer have to live a life that causes us any displeasure. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you choose the habit you're going to sacrifice, you're just going to give it up. Meaning you're going to do something else instead. When you choose that, that is where your power is, because now you're not stuck. You're never stuck doing something you know is harming you because it no longer serves its purpose. As you sit here this morning and you think about it, well, which one am I going to release today? Which habit, which new habit am I going to make? Which old one am I going to sacrifice? You see, we always talk about making sacrifices, doing the hard things. But truthfully, the hard thing is to decide which habit you will relinquish. That's the hard part. That's it. Shouldn't it be harder? Do you want it to be harder? No, we sure don't. You see, we look for the shortcut. We look for the easy way out. The easy way out is for you and I to sacrifice the habit that no longer serves. That is exactly what we should be doing. And it is easy. Well, polarity tells you, where are you now? Where do you want to be? So you look at where you are and you bid it farewell. You thank it for its service. You say, you know what? You know what, Home Slice? It was nice knowing you. But bigger and better things await. Bigger and better things await you. But you must release. You must release the old habit. Let it go. And how do you let it go? By practicing doing the new habit. This is what we do. So today, take stock. Look through your life. Have you been too closed? Oh, so you must want to be more open. What does it mean to be more open? It means not to fight so much, not to hold on so much, but to simply allow. You want to be kinder? Then practice kindness to the person in the mirror first. Find the good things and compliment those. Edify yourself instead of tearing yourself down. Of course, it is familiar to say, but I'm so used to talking that way to myself. I've always done it. But you want to change. Change is easy because change is always happening. It's nothing new. We can't outlive change. So we may as well embrace change and recognize it for what it is. It is a good thing. Change prevents stagnation. Stagnation rots. Think about that. A standing pool of water. We must move. That is law. Everything vibrates. Everything moves. Nothing stands still. That is the law of vibration. So change, you see, must occur. And when you are the one initiating the change, when you are the one who looked through your life and said, I don't want that anymore. I want this instead. You know exactly how it will turn out. So there's never a reason to fear, never a reason to doubt, never a reason to be afraid. So when you are ready today to make that sacrifice, you know who else made a sacrifice? Who was inspired to make a sacrifice? I do believe Isaac, he was the sacrifice. But as his father laid him on the altar, What happened? A ram was caught in the thicket. You see, there's always, you think that the thing you want to get rid of is so good. I must keep it. But when we do that, we blind ourselves to the fact that there is better. There's better for you. There's always better for you. So what will you do? The encouragement today is that habit that we need to sacrifice has served its purpose. It helped you to survive. But we are no longer surviving. We are thriving. So when you thrive, you need to what? Do something new, something better that serves. This is why you hear that word attachment. Don't be so attached to things. It means you've got to be able to look at it and say, oh, well, this was helpful then, but no longer now. Out you go. What? Used to look good in that. Out you go. That's what you're doing. You're not letting go of something so that you can be worse. You're letting go of something so that the new thing you do makes you better. Do we not want better? Do you not want better? I'm sure you do. Well, I know I do. What constitutes better? Anything that adds beauty and ease to your life. Anything that adds order to your life is better for you. You will find the more that you take stock of what you've got, which ones you're going to sacrifice, you begin to see and you begin to get a sense of, oh, I should do this now. Oh, I should do that now. And things just unfold naturally. You sit there, because I know I had that epiphany. Thank God for besties who see through things. Oh, so you want to be more open? And you're like, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for, actually. You see, when we begin to release the things that no longer serve, you begin to see better, more clearly. It's like when you do an exfoliation. Oh, sure, they're a little bit tedious. But after you exfoliate, what remains? Beautiful, glowing skin remains. But in order for that beautiful, glowing skin to emerge, you must exfoliate the old, dead cells that no longer help you. So which would we prefer? Ooh, I'm looking so nice today. Look at that girl. You are radiant. You are glowing. Do you want that or you want to go, oh, you got some creases there, honey. Makeup is caking. Look at your crow's feet. Which one would you prefer? You see, relinquishing the old is quite like bathing. You notice, if you don't bathe, you get a little musty, right? That's the old habit. Get in there and bathe. Allow the water of change to purify you. This is what we do. But do you notice something? You gotta bathe every day. Sometimes 2, 3 times a day, depending on where you live. So you see, the habits that we have, you must take stock of them every single day. Don't want to get crusty. You understand what I'm saying to you. It might be a little gross, but take it into account. The old habit that we continually do, when we look in the mirror, we think, oh, that is so gross. Why? When it is simple. to look at it and say, okay, I see where I am now. Thanks, you served your purpose. What action am I going to do to get me to where I want to be? That is bathing, that is exfoliating. That's what it is. You understand? We look at sacrifice as this thing to fear. Oh, but if I let that go, preaching to the choir. What we let go of, or let's look at it this way, what we replace the old with. See, a simple change of perspective. If letting go is too difficult, what do you want to replace it with? Put your attention upon what you want to replace it with. That is much more pleasant to look at. It is much easier to bear. Oh, look at that new thing. Yes, go with that, which makes sacrifice considerably easier. So what are you going to sacrifice today? What will you sacrifice? Because when I say I get it and I understand how challenging it can be to relinquish something that we've had for so long, I get it. An old attitude, an old way of thinking, because that is what it comes down to, doesn't it? It starts with the way we think. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation, not was a mental creation. It is a mental creation. So everything we're dealing with now is the result of a thought that we persistently had. So you don't beat yourself up. You simply look through. Just flip through it and say, that can go. Oh, that can go. And you know how we do, we put them in a bag, right? To make space. For what? The new behavior that you want to do. What is the new behavior? Well, look at the old and you'll see exactly what the new behavior should be. You don't have to rummage to figure it out. You get rid of a shirt, you need to replace a shirt. It's always there. Remember, the seed of the solution is in every problem. So we don't spend our time fretting. That is not wise use. Spend your time assessing the situation. Oh, polarity, wherefore art thou? Polarity says, I am here. How may I assist? And you say, well, you know, polarity, I'm here right now. I'm doing this thing. And I want to do this instead. Polarity says, as you wish. And if you look at those two things, where you are now and where you want to be, you will see the very third step to do. You will see it. Because polarity will give you clarity. Polarity gives you clarity. Emanon, is that a t-shirt? But you feel me. But we tend to sit and say, why? How dare you do this to me? Do you know what you've put me through? Oh, yes. That's what we say. When in actuality, what is required is for the individual, you, me, to look at it and say, this is where I am now, huh? This is where I am? This is not ideal. I'm going to be right there. This is the new place I want to be in. Okay, here's what needs to happen. This thing is causing me to worry because I used to worry. I'm real good at worrying. Man, I can sit in that chair of worry and rock all day if you let me. Enough of that. I have rocked and worried way too much. I want to know what I'm doing. I want some clarity so I can go forward. And then you replace the worry with something else. And you do it every day, all day. Why? Because you used to worry all day, every day. And if you give a quarter, it will take an inch. Why? Because it has been set down. That's why you must persist in your new behavior. There are no voids in the universe. Huh? Angela, how can you say such a thing? Cause and effect. There's not just cause. Cause and effect travel together. Even rhythm compensates. However far you go to the left is how far you gotta come back. So there aren't any voids. You must replace. That's why the swap was made. Barabbas for Jesus. It wasn't just Barabbas was freed. No. Something has to take its place because you cannot have a void. So when you encounter the thing you want to release, what are you going to replace it with? And that is what you do. You swap one for the other because you can't have a void. So you must do the new behavior all day, every day. This is what it is. So today, let us not fret when we hear things like, oh, I gotta let that go. What is the behavior that you need to let go? What are you going to replace it with? You see, we look at the outside and we say, well, if I do this, I'm going to lose that friend. The friend has become your focus. Thereby, you feel the sensation of loss in your body when you think of that. Oh, I gotta close that friendship. Oh, I gotta go to a new job. But what if you spent your time with the mental work? If you change you, the outside will conform. Which means situations will arise and it will cause a gradual separation. And that gradual separation is a lot easier. Because why? You're not focused on the loss of it. You are focused on the gaining of a new mentality. And when you gain the new mentality, then you must rise. You can't stay where you were. So that means you're going to be like Moses. You'll part the Red Sea for your new way forward. The chariots of Pharaoh can't stand that sea as it comes back. So once you move and you change, whatever you were supposed to relinquish will leave of its own volition. You will understand why it leaves, and the sensation of loss, yeah, it might sting a little bit, but it will not overwhelm you. This is why we choose wisely what we shall relinquish. When you look at those things and you take stock, it'll make sense. Let us take a moment to welcome everyone to the space. Twitter, Ruru, Diddy, well, Chad, I see you. I shall respond, not to fret. Lilith, Hello, darling. Javion and Tiffany are here. Yay! I see you. Thank you for being here on such a lovely day. Yeah? Javion's like, you know, because I got spring break. I see you. Fanbase. Hello, I am radiant, I think. Yolanda, I see you. Um, My Melanin, Coco Love, KZ, Miss McQueen, Matthias, Yolanda, Zola. I see you here on Fanbase. It is always a pleasure to see you. Who's here on YouTube? Emanon, Empress Ella Tracy, Cynthia Darling, Anot, the better man, Ms. M. You said you're listening while half asleep. Aw. Double A, David, Cyber. I see you. I see you. I'm reading your comments. Oh, I love you all. I do. I do. So today, my beautiful friends, voting closes today, so you might want to get there and vote for the name, but I digress. This is the way it is. Choose the thing you no longer want to hold on to, because that is where you are now, and sacrifice it upon the altar of change by choosing the new way you want to be. You see, the new way you want to be requires you to behave differently. It requires you to behave differently. You must do the new behavior. We don't just sit and be wishful about it. We do the new behavior. But you have to do it. You have to do it. So what are you going to do that's new? What are you going to do that takes you in the direction you want to go in? Today is not just a day that you have fish instead of red meat. At least in the Caribbean, that's how we roll for Good Friday. We have fish instead. But you notice how they swapped something for something else? That's right. What are you going to swap? Yes. But of course, new habit requires a new behavior. But we're scared. What did Bernie Mac say? You know what I'm saying. I don't need to say it. That's what it is. But we're scared of change. You can't be afraid of change. Again, preaching to the choir. If you are the one saying, here's where I am now, and yeah, over there's where I want to be, how can you be afraid of that? Did you not just show yourself where you wanted to be? And because you showed yourself where you wanted to be, you know exactly what behavior to do. How can it scare you? Nothing there is unknown. Nothing is unknown. You clearly said, I am here. I would prefer to be over there. So I will do this action every day that gets me over there. Find the unknown. There isn't one. So you see, because we're usually afraid of what we don't know. We're afraid of, I don't know how it's going to turn out. But both of those things have been eliminated when you use polarity. So you see, when you sacrifice one thing, you know exactly what you're replacing it with. You know what you're getting. You know what you are getting. So there isn't a reason to fear. Not a single reason. Oh, but I've never done that behavior before. You didn't do the other behavior before either. You learned it. So you can learn because you've shown the capacity to learn. It is irrelevant what you learn. The fact is, you can learn. perspective, yes? It is irrelevant what you say. Well, I want to learn this. No, you are a learner, and a very fast one at that. A very, very fast learner. The ability to perceive depth perception. Hello, do we know how quickly that registers? Why? Because your body is always on the lookout. It is. It is primed and it is always, always on. So you're always learning. Oh, that's so hard. No, you are always learning. And learning is very easy for you. I'm not just saying that, I'm telling you scientifically based upon the body that you're in. Look at how we can compute information so rapidly, yet we're afraid to learn. We doubt that we can learn. The evidence of your learning is always before you. They're called reflexes. But you go to the doctor and he hits you, your knee, your patellar ligament with the hammer, and the leg comes up and you're like, oh, that was quick. But of course, your body responds. Why would it respond? Because it is always learning. So that means you are always learning because you're not exempt from your body. You're in it. You are in it. And it is always learning. So if it is always learning, that means it can be taught. Which means you are a good teacher, my friends. So teach your body the new thing you want it to do, and teach it with excitement. Why? Because the body doesn't want boring. It likes fun things. Look at how the heart races when you get all excited, because it likes that. So teach it the new thing. That's when you say, you're going to learn today. That's what you tell your body. You're going to learn today. And you start to teach it. Teach it with pleasure. Because a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. You know, we don't always want to learn. But if you make it fun, I'm learning a new way to be. You make it fun. Then sacrifice takes its rightful place as to not overwhelm you. This is what we've been given. Be like the servant that was given 5 pieces. I don't know what he was given 5 pieces of, but he made it into 10. Do not be like the little guy who had 1, and he thought his 1 was somehow insignificant, and he was afraid to use it. And what happened to him? Well, as within, so without. You live a thought of loss, well, then you get to experience loss. That's why he got his 1 taken away. That's why he got his 1 taken away, because he was like, oh, I don't want to lose that. Where was he focused? Losing it. And what did he do? Lost it. But you see the one with 5 who made it into 10, where was he focused? Abundance. He got more. Same for the one with 2. He got more. He made it 4. So use what you have. You see how much we know? We talk about use it or you lose it. Hello. Use it or you lose it. Why? Where's the law that correspondence? If you're afraid of losing it, well, then it has to go because you are focused upon loss. And this is why we're afraid, you know. Now that you know that you don't need to be afraid, again, why are you courageous? You are courageous because you know what you're doing. You know that I recognize where I am now. And I want to be over there. See why you can be courageous? You see why you are courageous? Because you always know how it turns out. No, I don't. Of course you do. You're the one who said, oh, Instead of peas today, Mother, I will have carrots. So are you going to act surprised when your mother gives you carrots? You can't. You asked for carrots. So is there reason to fear? No, there isn't. But there is evidence of courage. There is evidence of courage. The more clarity you get, the more bold you become. I wonder why that is. The more clarity you get, the more bold you become. Well, you would have to be. You know where you're going. There's no brambles and bushes in the way. It's a clear stream of vision right in front of you. You know exactly where you're going from to. So the encouragement today is that thing that habit that we need to sacrifice. Choose your replacement. Choose the replacement. Why? Fill the void first. Oh, what do you mean there's a void? It is easier to choose the new way to be and be that so that the old way dissipates. And once it dissipates, no hole is left. So then you fill the void first so that there is no void. Does that make sense? Because if you struggle with the letting go part, practice embracing the new. Practice embracing the new way, which is to do the new thing. And as I said, you do not become overwhelmed when this old thing has to leave. It'll just slink away. It's like that plant in the corner. Don't water it. Don't talk nice to it. Well, it'll leave all on its own. For what? Lack of attention. So squarely put your attention upon the thing you want to become and do those actions so that the sacrifice does not overwhelm you. That is the best way I can tell you today. It is law. Because you hear it all the time. Where you put your attention expands. We all know this. We see the evidence of it all the time. So put your attention upon that which you want to expand and allow it to fill you so that what did Neville say? So that it crowds out everything else from your mind. Be wholly consumed with it. That is your word today. Because you know how we roll. It is Friday. Y'all want to hang out, right? But take that tender morsel. That tender morsel. And embrace the way you want to be. Do those actions of who you say you now are. And the thing that must be sacrificed will wither and leave of its own volition because you are no longer looking at it. Dare I say the word is called indifference. Mozinga? I don't know where he is. Resident etymologist. But I trust that makes sense to you today. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Voting ends today. Voting ends today. For our community name. I'll make the announcement on Monday. I'll do that. And you all know where you can find me again, right? I'm over here on YouTube. We always get the last remnants of gravy from the bowl. Be bold today, my beautiful friends, and embrace the way you want to be after you have decided what you will sacrifice. Much love, Twitter. Much love. Oh, Coach C2. I've missed you. It's good to see you. Alrighty, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. Fan base. I'm gonna see y'all's. Zola and Yolanda, thank you so very much for your assistance today. Thank you, everyone, for the love. It is greatly appreciated. And I will see you soon. Remember the community tab on YouTube? Vote for the name of the community. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I'll see y'all's over on YouTube. Peace. Fanbase is closed. Hey, YouTube. Aw, Zola, that is appreciated. YouTube, how y'all doing today? Because I know I am ready. I'm going to get into the chat. Just, there you go. My iPad was upside down. Go there like that. And go there like this. Hey, hey, Nancy, I see you. Tracy. Yes, honey, Tracy, be bold. Make some noise, right? Beauty Queen Anika, yes, honey, yes. Bree, hello. Good morning to you, beautiful. Pens, I see you. Oh, Emina. Talk to you today. Yes. And Cynthia, I see you. Now let me read this. Anot says the message she gave yesterday was a sign for me to step it up. No more milk. Oh, a big mama has been preparing me for greatness. Oh, Anot. Yes, we must rise, yeah? The better man, you continually keep on with new topics that help us to grow into the ultimate. Because that's our purpose. To grow into the ultimate. But of course, it really is good to see you, Double A. It really is. Brian. David. I don't know if Brian is here. I don't see him in the chat. And Cyber, I haven't seen LC for quite some time. The better man says, today my goal is changing polarity in all situations where there's negativity. Oh, yes. Right? Oh, did I miss a comment there? It's Friday. Yes. You see, because that's the thing, right? Everyone's journey is different. Hey, I see you, baby. Everyone's journey is different. We all do things through our own eyes. You know, the way we've been raised, different perspectives, we function within those things. Like we have the artists, they see the world much more vibrant. We have the writers, they hear the story. We are all different in those aspects. But make no mistake about it. Those aspects that make us different, those are your strengths, And we get to use them. We get to use them along this path that we're living right now. Some know more than others. That doesn't mean they're better. It just means they know a little bit more. How and why do they know more? They may be older, meaning they've lived longer, or maybe they read more. We don't know, but you got to believe that. We can all change. We can all grow. We can all expand. But everybody has their thing that they give to the world. We contribute to where we are now. We are society. And so when we come to that understanding that, well, I'm contributing to society, yes, you are. What do you want to contribute to society? That's the thing. What do you want to contribute? Well, you have your gifts and talents. Contribute those because those are the good things. And the attitudes that are not so friendly, transmute them into good also. Today's goal is to be present in the body and thought. Cynthia, how true. How true. Sometimes we're so disconnected from our bodies. Yeah, we're so disconnected from our bodies sometimes. We don't allow ourselves to feel. Ooh, I know all about that. See, because sometimes we think to feel is to experience pain. But to feel is actually to participate in the pleasure of life. Perspective, yes? Beauty Queen Anika. See? She's an artist and she sees the world in color always. But that's it, right? She sees the world in color. She recreates the color. Some people see the world in black and white. They get the shade. They get the contrast. All are required to paint the fullest picture of life. Right? All are required. This is the beauty of today, my friends. Because that thing that you think has been holding you back. You see, honesty with self. Honesty with self sometimes. Whew. I don't know what I did. Somewhere back in creation, I said, you know what? For those times that I can't be honest with myself, send me a bestie who can be honest with me. Whew. Lord have mercy. Oh, yes. Besties who are honest with you, they are required. Oh, they are required. I mean, you want to sit in the corner and lie to yourself. Your bestie comes along and says, oh no, not a lick of that today. But you know that your bestie loves you. That's all it is. Unconditionally. Your bestie never says to you, well, I understand. Just stay there in the corner and just whimper and whine about it. It's okay. Oh no, not my bestie. She's like, okay, really? You're going to do that? Or you're going to do this way? Oh, you want to be more open? That's what you're saying? You see, people will always play the role you assign them. They must. You're the one giving them the script, so they'll play the role. That's why I say honesty with self is always the way to go, because as my granddaddy said, yeah, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. Honesty with self is the way to go. You're looking at that situation, you're like, that is hurting me. Don't stop to ask, why can't I let it go? Don't ask that question. Assess and acknowledge where you are now, and then decide where you want to be. And then that's the direction you go in. It is much more beneficial to us to go in the desired direction than it is to complain about where we are. You want me to say that to you again? It is much, much better to recognize where you are now and then go in the direction of where you want to be. That is wise use of energy. That is wise use. That, my beautiful friends, is called what? Mental transmutation. Because mentally you're taking yourself from to. Mentally. You do it mentally, the body follows in the physical. Why? Because it must correspond. Well, yes, Nancy. I agree. Being your own bestie first, of course. But there are 8 billion people on the planet. Right? As within, so without. Always be your bestie first by being honest with yourself. But we're not alone, are we? No, we're not alone. Sometimes it's nice to have someone to sit by the fire with and sip some warm cider and say, oh my God, do you remember when? That is always a beautiful thing, to share our existence. With companionship, we share our companionship, we share. But the way we share on the outside is a reflection of the way we share with ourselves on the inside, always. You know? So I'll leave you with that today. Oh, or to be fearful of where we are. Yeah, you don't complain or be afraid. And I'm not saying that because I know best or whatever it is. I'm saying that because when you put complaining into perspective, right? When you really look at complaining, what does it feel like in your body? What's that vibration telling you? That vibration is telling you, ooh, I don't feel good. Where do you want to be? Ugh. Ugh. That's what that vibration says when you complain. So now that you see what's happening to you when you complain, as within, so without, right? When you see that, you want to bring on wrinkles real fast? Complain. It's dehydrating, you know. It sucks all the moisture out of you. Leaves you all haggard looking and things. Ever met somebody like that? They were just so persnickety. Look like they sucking on lemons. I digress. That tells you what vibration they're on. We all have the ability to be young looking and supple. We do. But you've got to rejuvenate the mind. Rejuvenate the mind with adequate thoughts, and you'll be amazed at how the body responds to that. Oh, wow, what are you doing? What's your skin regimen? You look so good. You're glowing. Right? We can do that. Ah, I'm reading your comments here, Nancy. I was taught that I had absolutely no concept of how I felt, that I was meant to be lying to others for their opinions. Ah, you see? But that's exactly it. Just recently, very close proximity, I got to say the big no to them and the big yes, of course. Clearly. That's what it is. And sometimes it takes a little bit to get there when you say, oh, I must put me first. But of course, sometimes that's hard to say because you don't want to hurt feelings. But you know what? you once you recognize once you recognize your own beauty, you'll preserve it. You won't allow someone to come along and say, but you owe me. I gotta. No, you won't tolerate that nonsense. You won't tolerate it. Why? Because you know who you are. As within, so without. You got that self respect inside and that boundary. Nobody can cross it on the outside. And you won't even have to say a word. Your vibration will speak for you. That's right. Let me try just reading some more. Just yes, beauty queen Onika. Beautiful mind makes a beautiful body. Indeed it does. As within, so without. K frame. Oh, good morning to you too, darling. Cynthia. Oh, she says she's loving the link tree. Let me tell you something. I am forever grateful to mixed genre for that. I had no idea I could do it because I've always seen it. You know, people say, oh, links in my bio, check out my link tree. And I'm like, but I wasn't prompted to go look until I understood why. And so that's why I did it. And it was easy. It was easy. It was easier than I thought it was. See, I can hear my bestie saying, and you fought me the whole way. And then after I did it, I was like, oh, but that was so easy. She's like, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Right? I can be a little stubborn. Working on that. Sometimes stubbornness is good. You just got to know when to use it. You know, discernment, good thing. You see, Nancy, I like that comment. I didn't know I was putting me first. I was told I was self-centered by feeling the pain I was feeling. You see, and that's exactly the point. They are projecting, as within, so without, their own pain of what they had to go through by allowing someone else to validate them. So they can only project that onto you. But now that you've seen it clearly for yourself, because it isn't self-centered to put oneself first, you must put yourself first. If you don't put you first, you're always last. Then you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your own cup first. Yeah, you know what I'm going to tell you. You're on the airplane. The oxygen mask comes down. You put yours on first. And people want to think that's the only time it matters to put yourself first. I digress. Yes, you must. Because that's when you start doing that, like you said, you get this inner joy that comes with it, that happiness that comes with, wow, I accept me. This feels nice. You walk around, then you're so peaceful when you do that. You're so peaceful when you put yourself first. Inner peace. Because you're not busy trying to please anybody. Because you can't please anybody. There's 8 billion people on the planet looking through their own eyes, hearing through their own ears. They like what they like, and they like how they like it. So please you first. It's only you to please. So that's what I'll leave us with today. Remember to vote for the name. But when you decide, because how that link tree came about, it's just quite like how my bestie said, okay, look, we're gonna do some simple changes, Angela. And those simple changes have made a world of difference. And of course, me and my familiarity with being stubborn, I was like, oh, but I'm scared. Yeah. You see, when we comprehend why we do what we do, which means we have clarity now, change is easier. And when you're doing it, when you're doing your new way, you sit there and you go, holy cow, I fought the whole way for this. I did? I fought? Really? This is so easy. That's why I tell you, when you know where you are right now, and then you choose where you want to be, the actions that you take in between to keep you focused on where you're going, things become easier. They do. They sure do. Right? There has to be. Where's my resident etymologist? He can break down selfish for me. Because selfful is better. I don't like the word selfish. You know, they tell you when you're raising your kids, you're like, share your toys. Share your toys with your friends. And then you must share. You reprimand them because they don't want to share. Look, when I go and I get my key lime pie, when I get my slice of key lime pie, or I get my slice of carrot cake, shoot, if I get my piece of Lady Godiva mousse, hallelujah. I don't want to share. Share. Are you crazy? You know how good each bite tastes? Share. Mm-mm. No. But I do, don't I? I share. But we don't always want to share. And that's all right. It's totally okay to not always want to share. Some things must be enjoyed for the self. They just, yeah, Brie, full of myself. Of course. Because being full of self means you're not empty trying to please somebody else. But hey, I digress. Oh, Queen Marat, hey, you slept in. You're supposed to sleep in. Which mother on this chat can say they get to sleep in all the time? Come on now. We're always up with the birds. Everybody else gets to sleep in, except for us mamas. So, because we know. So you sleep in. It's good. It's good to see you too. It's good. I have to post a date for the next testimonial. Yes, being of the self. I'm about the self. Yes. There you go. I like that, Nancy. Self centered is having everything revolve around me, no matter what it does to others. But that's the key, right? Because as within, so without. If you say, I'm good to me, I respect me, I have these boundaries, and I live like that, you don't have hurt within you to project outward. So you can't hurt somebody else that way. Oh. Oh, Queen Marat, the girls are out of school today. Oh yes. It is also spring break. Is it? I think it is. Yeah, spring break. Yeah, we don't get that around here because we homeschool. So we in each other's faces all day, every day. Uh, yes, self-full is selfish in a visual feel. Yes, it is. It is. Because that's their perception of it, right? Oh, you should give me what you've got. You should share with me. And then from that place of them, not being pleased or fulfilled by someone else other than themselves, jealousy can set in. Oh, well, I want what you have and I'll take it. What? But the same way I got it, you can get it. Apply your mental faculties. So you see, this is, it is a beautiful day, I tell you. It truly is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. 2190. I'll drop you guys a hello in there and see how you all are doing. Yes? Because that 2190, 21 days to make your habit, doing the same thing the same way every time. Right? And then 90 days to solidify that new habit into your lifestyle. You see, we're actually doing this all day, every day. Not always consciously, you understand. But we are doing it all day, every day. The key is to be aware of what you're doing. When you are aware of what you're doing, you can make the changes. You can make the changes. And it is beautiful. It really is. See what I'm saying to you? Sometimes those old things, they've got their roots burrowed so deeply. Oh, what does that sound like? Their roots are deep. But by practicing the law on a daily basis, the minute you pick up something and you say, oh, because remember the better man said he was going to be using polarity. The minute you do that, you are in alignment with law itself. You see, being in alignment comes naturally. You don't have to force it. The wise words of a beautiful bestie. You don't have to force things. Just allow it. Right? Because to follow law is easy. Because that is the design. We are designed. Why? Because we are governed by those 7 principles. That's why it's easy, Because we're governed by them. So that's why it's easy to be in alignment. Yes. I see you now, see? Yes. And that's the beauty of recognition, that we are always in alignment with law because we are governed by it. Indeed, Queen Murad, self-love and boundaries go hand in hand. All will align as you follow the law, and that's it. It's only when we try and do things outside of the law, well, you really can't, because the law is that invisible boundary. It holds everything in place. It holds the sky up and the earth down. That is law. That is vibration. Everything is in its place. Everything happens according to law. That's why you can't get things wrong. You can only get it right because everything is according to law. But you see, we use the word right and wrong all the time, and then we think, I gotta force. No, I'm learning this right now. Allow. Because the law is just allow. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. What's it say in the KYBALION? Can't break the law, but you can be broken upon the law. You can't break it. Every cause has its effect. That's immutable. That will never change. But how you break yourself upon it is you think You're disillusioned to think, well, I can do this and get that. And so, how did Einstein describe it? Doing the same thing and expecting a different response? You can't break causation. That's what he was talking about. Causation. That's insanity. You keep doing that thing and you're expecting something else to happen? No. No. The only way something else will happen is if you change what you're doing. Causation. So you see, my beautiful friends, it is absolutely a most beautiful thing. Yes, to offer the sacrifice. What sacrifice? The thing you no longer want. But choose your replacement first. Yeah. Because you know what you want to sacrifice. You know. I don't like that behavior. So you see, these things are, it's a good thing when you allow the law to just be what it is. And you don't have to fight, you don't have to fuss, you just have to align. I get to align. Because alignment is where all the abundance is. Alignment is where the abundance is. How you gonna say you're in alignment and you can only think of, I don't have enough? You're not in alignment. Well, you're in alignment with lack. Do you want to be in alignment with abundance? Then you gotta think abundantly. You look around you and you take stock of all the good things you've got. How good the law is. And when you think about that for a moment, how it feels to you in your body. It feels incredible to your body to know that everything is taken care of. All is well. It really does make you sigh with relief. And you physically feel that relief. You sustain that sensation of relief. Oh, when you sustain that sensation of relief, you are in alignment with abundance. You're not disturbed. You're just at peace. Why would you be at peace? How can I come to a place of peace? By recognizing that all things happen according to law. Nothing is random. It happens according to law. And it is predictable. Rhythm makes it predictable. Causation makes it predictable. Hey, they're all made predictable because you can't separate them. Right? So that's what helps to bring about peace. The knowing that everything is governed according to law. And from that place of knowing, now you get to call those things that are not as though they were, and they become. Think about that for a moment. When you are in alignment with what you want to be in alignment with, you reap the benefits of it. You reap what you have sown. But if you are in a constant state of, you reap what you have sown. You see, we are always in alignment. The only question is, what are you in alignment with? Look at your experiences. Of course, you feel yourself into alignment because the thought matches the sensation in your body. If you are saying, because it's what you know, right? When you say, oh boy, yeah, that's nice. You know what? I'm so relieved. Everything worked out. I don't even know what I was worrying about. Everything always works according to law anyway. How do I know everything works according to law? Well, we're going into spring, aren't we? That's according to law. That's the law of rhythm. Everything works according to law. So if I do this, I'm guaranteed that this thing will happen. Everything works according to law. You see, that's what Neville Goddard calls your self-concept. The knowing, the awareness. When we come to the conclusion and the understanding that everything works according to law, you don't have to believe that. So long as you have morning and night, so long as you've got winter, spring, summer, fall, so long as you've got seed time and harvest, everything works according to law. When you comprehend that and you allow yourself, like I said, you don't have to believe it. It is before you every day, all day. Are we in a full moon? Or a new moon? Well, anyway, it's pretty big. So you know the tide is high. But I'm moving on. Yeah, the tide is high. What? Because the moon, the rhythm. So what will you align yourself with? Will you align yourself with that knowledge because you know it? Because once you align yourself with everything works according to law, including me, I'm always in alignment. I'm always in alignment because you are. Nothing can be out of alignment. It's just a matter of what are you in alignment with? Abundance or lack? Happiness or sadness? Oh, sound familiar like polarity, eh? Ah, see, new moon. We are always in alignment. Always, because it is law to be in alignment. It is law to be ordered. So you ask yourself by way of polarity, where am I now? What am I in alignment with? Well, look at the evidence. Look at the effects in your life, and you'll see exactly where you're aligned. You see, we're only ever getting the alignment right. How do you know you're getting the desired effect? The experience on the outside. The experience that you get on the outside is telling you where you are aligned. Undesirably or desirably. So if you're looking, because you know people say, oh, I get the opposite. No, you can't get the opposite. Every cause has its effect. So you can't get the opposite. You will get the effect dependent upon the cause that you used. So if you're getting the undesirable effect, change the cause. And what is the cause? The cause is always going to be the thought. You see, we think we have to convince ourselves of these things. Oh, preaching to the choir. We think we have to convince ourselves. I must be in alignment. I must be in alignment. I must be in alignment. I'm always aligned. I'm always, the mindless affirmation. You affirm all day, every day, by way of the causes that you choose. And you choose those causes based upon your mental environment. If your mental environment is one of, I'm not good enough. I got to work harder than everybody else. Oh, I'm not good enough. If that is your mental environment, what what can you safely say is going on the outside? Struggle, frustration. Because you're always feeling like you're not good enough. And because you, listen, when you say, I'm not feeling good enough, it does not show itself blatantly like that in your face. It doesn't smack you and say, I'm not good enough. No, it doesn't smack you like that. Because you've been doing it for so long and thinking that way for so long, it just becomes part of the tapestry. And that's where you're living your life from. So if you are imagination, oh, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to save that for a live stream because I must. I must expand on that. But when we're making our lives, when we're creating our lives, where are you creating it from? What are you aligned with? You see, there's only, when Neville Goddard says there's only the self to change, what is he speaking of? He's speaking of, what's that thing running there? What are you aligned with? I'm not good enough. You live by that so long that it is the cause of all of the effects in your life. Always from a place of, I am not good enough. All you have to do is examine the effects that you're dealing with instead of being angry at them. Examine the effects that you're dealing with. And I tell you, when you look at the effects, you'll go, holy cow, I feel inadequate. That's why I keep doing that. That's why I'm people pleasing. I want to be accepted. But if you are busy going, oh my God, you're so dumb. Why do you do the same thing all the time? You blind yourself and you cannot see the root cause, which is your mental environment. So how does one change the mental environment? By getting in the mind and planting new seeds. The best seed to plant, everything always works according to law. That's the best seed to plant. Everything works according to law. You know that as fact. It is not hearsay. Oh, you know what I heard? I heard that everything works according to law. Oh my God. That's not what it is. I keep showing you where the law is every single day. You're part of that. When you go outside, because spring has sprung, right? For some of us. The lawn is still covered under I don't know how many feet of snow, but I digress. Spring is here nonetheless in my mind. When you go out and you plant the seed, what seed do you plant? You plant the seed in accordance with what you want to see in your garden. Huh? You plant the seeds based upon what you want to see in the garden. So, what kind of life do you want? Then plant those seed thoughts in the garden of your mind. If your seeds are thoughts of inadequacy, and how do you know? Your body will tell you. We think, see, because we have that word anxiety, we have that word, but it's just a word. But that word creates an effect in your body, my body, when you hear it. Oh my God, I've been suffering with anxiety for like 10 years. And what is your body actually saying to you? Your body is saying every time you have a particular thought, I respond like this. You call it anxiety without ever examining what the thought is. So, because we don't examine the thought, we cannot decipher in the body because we've called it anxiety. But if you say, you know what? My jaw gets tight, my shoulders go up, my chest gets tight, I can't breathe. Okay, Hansel and Gretel, we got breadcrumbs. What's the thought? What is the thought that causes your body to respond like that? So you see, if we continually put an umbrella over things, the umbrella shields. What is it? What is it shielding? It's shielding you from seeing what the actual root is, what the actual cause is. Your body does not just wake up and be anxious. You have to be thinking something. But because we only call it anxiety, we don't ever stop to examine what the thought was that triggered the body. But if you take a moment, when the body gets that way, oh, I can feel the anxiety coming on. Stop what you're doing. Examine the seeds in your garden based upon the fruit that you're now reaping. Look at it. Where did that thought come from? What is that thought? Because when you identify the thought, now you can employ the law of polarity to say, holy cow, that's what I'm thinking. This is where I am right now. With that thought. And you test it, right? You know, like Bart Simpson. I think Lisa hooked up this electrical charge to the muffin, and it would shock him every time. Ow, ow. But he just kept touching it to get shocked every time. He didn't look to see that it was hooked up to something. What are you hooked up to? What is that thought? Oh my God. I've been in the grips of depression for 40 years. And I bet you, if you go back, you'll find the one thought that has kept you hostage that whole time. You see, it is that singular thought that has been ruminated upon for years that creates the effect. So when you say things like, my life isn't changing, because the root thought hasn't changed, because we have these blanket terms, anxiety, depression, thereby you never look to find the culprit. Depression is an effect. Anxiety is an effect. Those are effects. Find the cause. The cause is always the mental environment. Cynthia, my thoughts were, there's so much to do. I will never get done. Will this be good enough? And that thought came from, more than likely, watching your mama. Yeah. Running around trying to get it all done. And so how we perceive that is, it doesn't matter how hard I work. I can't get it done. There's too much. Overwhelm. See, and that's picked up in those little tiny areas in our lives. Not because it is true, but it's because what you saw all the time, and it had an emotional impression upon your subconscious mind. What is the everything that needs to get done that you can't get done? What is that everything? Begin to name it. Cynthia, how did I know? Every cause has an effect. If you know the cause, you can predict the effect. If you know the effect, you can trace it back to the cause. That's all. So what is the everything? So now you see, What actually happened there in that situation is poor self management, no help, the inability to delegate tasks. The inability to delegate tasks. To say, well, you know what? There you have it. Because that constantly chasing perfection and pleasing others comes from a place of I am not good enough. If I could just get this right, they will like me. They will appreciate me. They will respect me if I can just get this right. And chances are that came from parents. When you compare children, um, it comes out of the parents because you have to project what is within you. So that's how they felt. And this is how it carries on. So when you start to say things like, well, I can't finish everything, I can't get all of it. What is all? What is everything? Start naming these things. Oh my God, the house is a mess. If the house is a mess, how do we get it tidy? When you start to see a mess, it means you've neglected to tidy up. That's all. That's the only action. Cause, effect. So you choose a day that you will do chores. Just pick a day. Organize the self. Move according to law. Put order. There is order. Friday is chore day. Recycling, composting, laundry, cleaning. Friday is chore day. So that's what you do. Friday is chore day. You do your chores on Friday. Right? Go by way of law. But that's what I'm saying to you today. Be specific and not so vague. I got so much to do. What is so much? I gotta do the laundry. Okay, start the laundry. Get the stuff out of the washer, put it in the dryer. Take it out of the dryer, fold it and put it away. Oh, look, laundry's done. Next. Accomplish the task. And you begin to feel free when you do it. Because now you're not overwhelmed by saying things like there's so much to do and so little time. Imanon. I'm reading what you say here. I'm talking to you today, huh? Habits of cleaning. Yes. Yes. But this is how you organize the self, right? Because we seem to think that things are overwhelming. But if you put things in their place, bite size, that's why words like everything, so much. What is the thing? What is the task that needs to be done? So if you're thinking, I can't get all this done, and you're creating something, right? What are you creating? More dissatisfaction. And then we wonder why we can't change. Because we keep creating the same thing from that one root. We're going to poke at you some more, Cynthia, because it's right there. And it's a real life example. Because you saw your mother do this in your young mind, it was perceived as that's the way life is. When in actuality, the truth was, mommy didn't always delegate because y'all can get it done as good as I can, so I'm gonna just do it, which ended up being, I'm exhausted. Yes, give structure, delegate, because when you do that, Many hands make light work. Then you don't start seeing yourself as, oh my God, I can't. But then you have to, when, see, this is the thing, right? With children, children cannot discern. Because looking at mom, right? Looking at mom and seeing what she did and how burned out she got, right? You think that's normal. But it's all you've ever seen. It's all you know. Mummy didn't have time to go to the gym. Mummy's plump. Because all mothers are supposed to be plump, right? That was normal to you, right? I grew up with a grandmother who worried incessantly. Worry, worry, worry. Oh, nag, worry, nag, worry. Oh, dear Lord. So, what did I learn how to do? Worry and nag because it was normal. But I also had a grandfather who said, things are always good. They always were. Based according to his perception. And he didn't really take her on. Because he held fast to the, I don't need to complain about things. So I saw both sides of the spectrum. Right? But those things that we continually put under a blanket, they blind the eye to what is really going on. Oh, but if I don't do this the way my mother did, that means I'm not a good wife. What? No, it just means your mother didn't delegate. Your mother didn't say, y'all better get your chores done and stick by it. Or you grew up under the missive of, it is the woman's job to keep the house and only the woman's job. Feed your man and that's it. Next thing you know, mama got more gray hair than anybody else. And mama's all stressed out all the time. But daddy's well fed. You see, share the work so as to not overwhelm based upon stereotypes. You have to look at what's happening in your mind and why you do the things you do. Next thing you know, you end up feeling like, oh, I'm not a good enough mother. I'm not a good enough wife because I can't do it the way my mama did. But yet, what you didn't recognize, I'm speaking in general terms, what you didn't recognize is your mother was dealing with her own inadequacies that drove her to behave the way she did. Because her inadequacies came from her mother and her father. But we pick it up as normal. We pick it up as normal. Right? Whereas, if we share the work, you give your child chores according to who they are. Your task for them is, oh, you got toys on the floor? Okay, I'll show you where all the toys go. At the end of every day, before you climb into bed, toys must be in the right place. And you teach that. Take a week to teach it. And on the following week, observe. You cannot deviate from it. You say, this is what needs to happen. What does that do for you as a mother? It frees you up if that space is tidy. Because now, when you come in to vacuum or sweep it, there's nothing on the floor. You're not, what did I say? Pick up yourself off the floor. Right? You're not frazzled. Because you are sharing, you are delegating, because we all live in the space. We all pitch in and keep it tidy because we all live here. Right? Until such time that they are big enough to sweep or vacuum their own space. But the day remains for chores. You just pick the day that works best for your family. So now that you're doing that, you begin to relinquish and recognize that, oh, that's what I'm doing? I feel inadequate. I feel like I'm not being a good enough mother or a good enough wife because I can't take care of this whole house by myself. My mother did it. Now you begin to see what is happening. That's it. Emanon, I like that. One has chores and the other one oversees. Why? Because what that is doing is developing what? The ability to see a pattern, the ability to streamline a process, and the ability to lead. The overseer is learning that. So is the other person who's being overseen. Right? But that's what I mean when I say, if you say you're struggling with anxiety, what? 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 It is not anxiety, it is something else that causes the body to be anxious. This panic of not being good enough, not being able to get it all done. Why? And the more you go backwards, like Hansel and Gretel, to follow the effects like breadcrumbs, you will find what's there. What that hidden habit is, you will find it. And when you find it, get out polarity. And honestly, it doesn't take you long to find it. It doesn't take you long at all. So once you find it, you say, oh, that's what I'm doing? Well, I don't want to do that anymore. What would I like to do instead? And you do the new action. See, sacrifice that thing, that thought that has held you captive for so long. Sacrifice it. Let it go. Do the new way of being. Do the new way of being. But you must find the old way. Recognize the old way. Acknowledge the old way. Because then you'll know what to change it to. Well, I worry all the time. About what? Everything. What? We can do a lot with that, can't we? I worry about everything. You can't do anything with that. That's why it is overwhelming. Because you haven't acknowledged what the thought is, what the root is. But I'll leave you be. Go forth today and recognize the thing that needs to be sacrificed and acknowledge the new way to be and do the new action. Softening the blow of sacrifice. I leave you with that. Emanon, Queen Morant, I see you all. Nancy, Cynthia, Asonia. Asonia, I trust I answered your question. You can let me know. Bree, K-Frame, Beauty Queen Onika, Dizzy, Tracy, Pens, Empress, Ella, Tracy Anod, The Better Man, Ms. M, Double A, David, Cyber. I see you all. Anod, I see you all. Remember, for those of you who want to go deeper, higher into the law and changing your lives, what we do is pretty basic here. Really? Yes, it is. You want to go deeper in that, you slide into my DMs. It's in my LINKTREE. I'm remodeling Patreon to accommodate that because that's where those lessons will be taught. I will be choosing a day, so on, so that we can be there and really do what it is that needs to be done. That's what I'll be doing. Empress Ella, thank you for that. That's right. Like the video, comment under the video. It helps with the algorithm. Lord knows what that is. We don't know what the algorithm is. We just need to know we like. Enjoy the beautiful long weekend, my friends. And I will see you soon. If, like I said, if you want to get a hold of me, hit me up at my link tree. The link tree is in the description. It's the first link in the description. That's my link tree. And you can follow on any of my platforms there, or you can email me. Mm-hmm. Yes. See? Let me tell you, I am loving the order. Anywho, I'm loving y'all as well. Peace. Cynthia, you are amazing. Yes, the group is life changing. I have changed tremendously. I'll tell you that. So I can venture to guess how you feel as well. So I'll see you soon. 2190, we're into it. Solidify your 21-day habit. It is becoming your lifestyle. And I will see you soon. Vote for the name. Love you.